Welcome. I'm your host, EJ Parker, here at Vintage Classic Solutions. Yeah! This is a shop update. Vintage Classic Solutions store update. It's 2025. You're in the future. Can you believe that? Congratulations, you made it. Hold on with both hands. Oh man. I'm just getting things organized. We're inside where there's heat. So that's good. Because it's freezing out. I'll tell you something. It's freezing out. Alright, so what am I doing? I'm doing a lot. I'm doing well. How are you doing? I'm your host, EJ Parker. We are live. Vintage Classic Solutions store update. It's my face. I'm clearing out. Oh yes, I have a bunch of stuff in the closet in there. I'm clearing out things that have been sitting in my eBay store to go into my virtual store within a larger antique store. Pardon me as I get things organized. I've been out and about all day. So, so what am I doing? I'm getting things organized to bring to my antique store, which is located in Timeless Treasures, which is a gorgeous antique store in Mentor, Ohio. So stop by and see us. It's an awesome store. It's museum-esque and much more. So I'm looking for things that I have had sitting in my store on eBay not selling, or things that are just sitting in no store not selling anywhere, if that makes sense. So yeah, I'm surrounded by stuff. I could open a drawer. Let's just do that. Just open a drawer and see what we find, right? Hello everybody, welcome. So this is Vintage Classic Solutions Live. I'm your host, EJ Parker. We're going through some vintage and antique items that I'm going to move from my virtual store, eBay, to a brick and mortar store. So we have to go through all the stuff. These are little drawers full of stuff. This is awesome. Jadeite. What's going on, everybody? Bam. Jadeite. Why is it called jadeite? It looks like jade, right? That's like mid 20th century. That, I don't know, that might stay on eBay. This is cool. This is like a change thing from some French restaurant. This is like a black glass piece. These are vintage items that I'm going to be probably moving to a brick and mortar store called Timeless Treasures, Mentor, Ohio. Come by and visit us. Say, hey, where's EJ? And I'll be like, I'm right here, digging through an antique box or whatever. How about this? Dare to keep kids off drugs. Did you graduate? What this looks like? Was there a date on this? 1995. I was 15. How about that? Dare hockey puck. Heck yeah! This is drawer what 1.2. I got a lot of drawers. So here we go. This is great. This is etched glass. This is old. Very delicate. It's a little bit lighter than a cranberry. It's like a pink. But if you can see that, it's super fine etching. There's like a scene in there. This light really doesn't do it justice. If you can see in there, it's like a magical scene. The base, the foot is etched. And it's very I think this is a fruit cup. This is in my eBay store right now. This might stay in there. There's a hummingbird. Look at that. Like a bird of paradise. This is a fruit cup. You don't make things like this anymore, right? So this is gorgeous. I think I found that at a thrift store. That's very delicate, desirable, and rare. Check this out. This is cool. Egyptian themed things are back in style 100 years later, like in the 1920s, which is a freaking 100 years ago, if you can believe it. Egyptian themed things were fashionable and popular, and now they are again. This is like a, I mean, this is gonna be had to be made in the last probably 20 years, so it could be vintage. But this is a great Egyptian thing. I think it's on my eBay store. I'm just going through things to figure out what I want to keep in eBay, what I want to bring to my brick and mortar place. Timeless Treasures, Mentor, Ohio. Come check us out. So I get a lot of loose nativity scene stuff. I always buy like interesting nativity pieces when they're loose. If they're like made in Italy. What is this? This is like bottom of the drawer stuff that I haven't seen in a long time. Oh, that's cool. Like a heraldic eagle brass hook, right? That's made in Japan. It's probably 19. I don't know. It's definitely probably like, I don't know, 1960s, give or take. This, what is this? Help me out. What are these called? Are these Polly Pockets? These are collectible. What are these things? This is like Beauty and the Beast, right? It's like a little action figure. What is this? I'm gonna spill this everywhere. I think this is like a collectible one. This is something I got. Look at the price tag on it. I think I got it 4 years ago and I socked it away. Uh-oh. See, I was right. There's like all these little pieces. What is this? Help. What is this called? Are these Polly Pockets or something like that? This is, I think this is vintage. These little scenes, I'm sorry. You can see that far away. Belle, like Beauty and the Beast. Is that Belle? Is this Belle? I love that name, Belle. Oh wow, she got like an articulated waist. Usually these little figures aren't articulated at all. So she's articulated. What about the Beast? Yep. This is actually based on a really dark, like German folklore story, Beauty and the Beast. Someone gonna help me out with this? What are these called? I think these are. Does the back say? See, but if I flip it over, it's gonna all bump out. This is nice though. It's quite. I mean, take a look at this. There's a little tea scene, a little tea set, right? The piano, a purple baby grand, I'd say. It's probably like a 6-foot baby grand. The balcony. This is cute, right? Are those stairs? Yeah, there's little stairs, little hallway. Let me close it up and look at the back. From what I recall, this was like kind of valuable, and kind of, I mean more than $20, I think. Bluebird, 1995. So we're vintage. Bluebird doesn't tell me, it's like the maker, but not like the, you know what I mean? Whatever. These are new old stock Christmas sits. What else is in here? This kind of stuff can be confusing. Like it could be Blinko or it could be like just studio glass. When it's that crackle, it looks primitive, but it's not. You know what I mean? It's not 1840. It's 1960. You know what I mean? I think it's not more like 1960. Even though there's a sharp pontil, like a maker's mark, I believe this to be 20th century, not anything earlier. I'm your host, EJ Parker Live, Vintage Classic Solutions. We are rummaging through my stuff together. I want to show you this because it's about time. And there's more drawers, don't worry. Like, what else is in here? If you're dying to know. 2 Hygeia nipples. Isn't that funny? This is the real deal, yo. I bought like one of the biggest collections of antique and vintage baby bottles in the USA from like the lady who wrote the book, and I mean she actually wrote the book, and I got the book too. And this is part of that collection. Whoa, look at this. This is a baby bottle nipple. 1942's got a date on there, so that's what, 83 years old, if my math is right. Sometimes you can see daylight through that nipple hole. It's got like a dark chocolate brown. I mean, is it supple? No, it's 5% supple, 95% not supple. This would crack in a minute. You know, I sell these on my eBay store, and people sometimes like ask me, "Hey, EJ, can that fit on a nipple?" No, these will not. This is these are probably natural rubber. 1942, new old stock. Muncie, Indiana, 2 Hygeia pull-on nipples. This is natural rubber. Synthetic rubber came to be around like the late 40s, after like the late World War II and after. And it's got a different smell, different feel. This is natural rubber, which I like. It's been a crazy day. I'm exhausted. I'm like dragging myself through this, but I have to do it because today I learned a lot. It's my second day in the brick and mortar store, Vintage Classic Solutions at Timeless Treasures, Mentor, Ohio. Come visit us. Come and see us. It's a very historic city. It's like a big town, little city kind of thing. It's a museum. It's in a really good location off the highway. All this kind of, and everyone's really cool. Oh, check this out. Check this out. So this is awesome. Who knows what this is? I'll give you guys a few moments. Do you recognize that? And if you do, let me know what this is. I know what this is, but do you? Guess what we're playing? Guess what this is. Hey, everybody, guess what this is. I got this today. My buddy Matt hooked me up. We traded. Yeah, that's going to happen a lot. So Matt and Magical Matt's Memorabilia and Toys. So he's also located in Timeless Treasures. And the way I see it's like this, because this is my first brick and mortar experience. Even though I've been collecting since I was a kid and I've been dealing antiques and selling for 5 years on my own on eBay and Etsy, but almost all eBay. So I see this antique store. It feels it's an antique store. There are antique malls that are much larger and have many dealers within, and it feels like an antique mall. Where this place feels like an antique store. Like one floor. It feels kind of like an old house, and there's stuff everywhere. So that's right, the way it should feel, right? And I'm meeting all the dealers and everyone's got their own, their own specialty and their own store and their own flair and style to the store, and everyone, of course, is different, unique. Bam, and we all collect their own stuff, And I'm coming and going, and we all kind of like buy and sell in our own different way, right? Some people go to like a state, they'll clear out estates. Other folks, maybe people come to them. I'm getting to know folks and how they buy and sell. So what I do, I'm like a worker bee. I'm always in and out, like going to a barn sale, going to a garage sale, going to thrift stores. I'm always coming and going, so I always have stuff, right? Always new stuff. Plus the stuff I'm sitting on right now, literally sitting on. Like this chair from circa 1820. Look at this plank seat. This thing is gorgeous. This thing the problem with the seats are when we're not selling, you're just gonna sit on them. You know what I mean? Sorry, pun. Antique puns. I'm sorry. I'm a little bit slap happy. So let me continue my thought. So we're in this antique store full of antiques, like and I like pirates. I'm like a pirate, digging for like antique treasures, like in barns and thrift stores, just looking for treasure, right? And so I see we're all pirates on the ship, and the ship's the antique store. And the flag is not the Jolly Roger, not like the skull and crossbones. It's the open sign. We got like this big red, white, and blue open sign, like just waving right in the street. So whenever I see that flag's on, I'm like, let's go. Like, it motivates me to get more treasure, like a pirate. You know what I mean? So I'm having fun, obviously. I wore myself out. I got up at like 4 a.m. Why am I tired? I woke up at 4 a.m. That's freaking why I'm tired. There's no question why. I went live at like 5 a.m. and thanks for joining me. I'm your host, EJ Parker, and your curator at Vintage Classic Solutions. Please subscribe if you like this kind of stuff. And to convince, so check this out while I'm blabbing. Matt, so let me finish. So we're like pirates on the ship, right? All these antique dealers and vintage dealers and memorabilia dealers. And we buy, sell, and trade, and we trade. So my friend Matt said the magic word. He said the T word. Trade. And I'm like, oh, trade? Okay. And Matt was cool. He watched my videos, and we're this similar age, so we were the same wheelhouse of toys, right? From our nostalgic years. He's like, yeah, those muscle men from Japan. He won like the largest one. He expressed interest. Those jumbo sized one. If you don't know what I'm talking about, watch my muscle men videos. Does anyone know what this is yet? No one. Okay, check this out. I'll hold this up for another minute. And I'll give you a clue. So guess what this is? So I sold those other large muscle men from Japan. The large, like that big. Well, typically like this big, if you know what I'm talking about. And I'm like, oh man, I couldn't get rid of my last one. So I knew he was into those. So I went home, like made him like a little like survival pack of like the different sizes and colors. I'm like, yo, man, bam, there you go. And he was pumped, and that makes me happy because I love that stuff. And there's no one else that I knew that likes that stuff. Like that's why I started YouTube. I was so lonely as an eBay dealer. You know what I mean? It's the best, but it's the worst. There's no boss, which is great. I can motivate myself. Don't worry. I can assign myself many tasks. But there's no one to like to share like the interests or learn from or all that stuff or trade with. So it's a vacuum. So I gave him those muscle men. He's like, "Oh, dude, that's awesome." He's like, "What do you want for my store?" I'm like, "Actually, this." And he's like, "Bam, it's yours." So I'm gonna wear this. Anyone know what this is? All right, I'll show you. Where's the? I'll give you a clue, and then I'll tell you. Crying out loud. It's just something like this. I don't want to use that. And if you don't know, I'll tell you. Just give me freaking something or rather. This will work. This is appropriate. This is actually a circa 16, what is this? Circa 1630 French book. Who's got that laying around? I do. I'm your host, EJ Parker. All right, this is my hot mess life. My vintage and antique store. So check this out. Look at this book. But look at this. So any clue? Come on. This is Atreyu, the never-ending story. That medallion on the book. Those two snakes. The never-ending story. Like that, right? But it was a little bit larger, like a silver dollar size. So I had to get it. And now I'm going to wear it. Right now. This is sweet. So when I was a kid, I wanted that. Like, it's on the book. Like, this, like, if you know that movie, it came out like in 1983 or 4. It's like a fantasy adventure based upon this magical book. Right? And on the book, it's got this medallion, but it's like that big, and it's stuck to the book, so you can't have it. It's stuck to the book. But as a kid, I wanted it, but you can't have it because it's stuck to the book. Now I got it. Bam. So thanks, Matt. Come see Matt at Timeless Treasures. And there's more people to meet. Don't worry. And you'll probably all meet them. It's gonna happen naturally. YouTube. I don't want to force like YouTube on anyone. Like, because my eBay store is me, my life, and my warehouse essentially, and that's just me. You know what I mean? But I have to be aware and conscious because now there's customers in the store. You know what I mean? And some people don't like YouTube. I get it. Some people don't want to be on YouTube. And I don't want to hit them in the face with like a YouTube pie. Like, hey, YouTube. They're like, oh, YouTube. I hate it. I don't want to do that. And I'm the opposite. I take YouTube in the shower. You know what I mean? I give a shit. But I'm aware and I'm empathetic towards that. So I can't just go live in the shop during business hours because I don't want to like offend anyone. And customers are the most important thing, right, in business. So I can't go live like during the customer hours yet. I think I have to find time. And I've been finding time already. But like to go live, it's got to be a little bit, I don't want to say a controlled environment, but like, I don't know. I got to figure out. I'm getting to like to know the dynamics of the store. You know what I mean? And again, I don't want to like hit people in the face with YouTube because not everyone's into it. But everyone that I met so far is kind of into it, so that's cool. All right, so let me ask you now what the hell this is. Let me get some things out of the way. That's box 1.2 for those keeping score at home. I'm your host, EJ Parker. We are live. Vintage Classic Solutions, my vintage and antique store, my passion. I urge you to find your passion and your dream and follow it and never give up. Never give up. You can quit something. You can quit toxic person, place, or thing in order to reach your dream or goal, but you can't give up your goal, right? Don't give up the ship. It's like a pirate, right? We're all pirates on a ship. All right, so these things are going away. And then I'm going to ask you what this is. This next item I discovered about a year and a half ago, and it's really pretty. I don't want to give it away at the wrong price, but I have to move things. So that's my conundrum. So check this out. This has to be, I'm guessing, this is maybe Art Nouveau, antique, could be a vintage. So this is, I'm guessing, French or German. It's really pretty. It's a vase. What's in the bottom of that? Is that an old Babe Ruth? No. Let's see the bottom. So one thing that's indicative of a higher quality piece, usually from Germany or France, is when the base here is shiny. Is this? No, it's not. So like if the real, it says something. I haven't examined this in a long time. This, like sometimes like the base right here within the foot will be glossy, and that's indicative of a higher piece. Now this is even artist signed, and I couldn't find anything when I researched the hell out of this piece, and I couldn't find it. I mean, look at this. I'll just show and tell. I mean, there's a signature. It's like a French name. It's R Jodany. Jodany. It's hard to read. It's got a rose theme. The young lady. I mean, Art Nouveau celebrates nature in the human form. So this could be an Art Nouveau piece. French 1700s. Oh my God, I love you. Really? Oh, I love you. Really? Is that old? Oh my God. Yeah. That's awesome. What am I going to do right now? I'm going to make sure. This is one of those things that I have an inkling. Is it good? I mean, that seems like, is it worth, it's probably worth more than $50, I'm hoping. Because I think I researched this prior to having Chat GPT plugged into my life. I'm checking my eBay store right now. You can buy this right now, probably really cheap. If it's, if you beat me to it, I'll sell it to you. If it's worth like $1,000 and you buy it off me right now. Was this listed? Yes, it's listed for $89. I'm going to end the listing. What's it worth? Give me how like so you obviously know what it is. When I researched, I couldn't find any comparable. Is it worth like I just removed it because I don't want to screw it up. If it's worth $1 million, then I will give you. If it's worth $1 million, I'll give you $2,000. How about that? I'll write you a check once this sells for your troubles. Put it online. What's it worth? I know it's beautiful. I mean, this is the other thing. Conditions, everything, right? So there's like some kind of like old timey repair cement right there. I think it has a certain sound to it, indicative of a higher quality piece. I knew this was good, but I didn't know how good. And it's been online for like over a year. So is it one of those things where if it's priced so low, folks, it goes under the radar? They're like, they don't bother with it. Take it to get checked out. All right, thank you. I'm gonna bring it to my antique store tomorrow and ask people what they think. I love you. Petrol, bam, 100%. So that's why it's here, and that's why you're here. So thank you. That's awesome. Happy New Year to you. That's great. I love YouTube, and I love you guys. So that's one thing. And then this came in the mail today. So this is from Poland. I'm not sure where everyone is in the world, but I have a very international viewership, and I love that. I've traveled a lot of the world. There's still a lot more to travel. This is from Poland. This is an Orthodox cross. It's got or a Russian cross or an Orthodox Orthodox. I'm tired. Orthodox Russian cross, also known as an 8-point cross. This is a crucifix, Christ, and there's a lot. Now this has a lot of symbology. I love symbolism. Maybe you can tell. This now I'm gonna do a dedicated video to this cross because there's a lot of symbolism in this. This is like an icon. Basically, and this has fascinated me since I was a kid. It looks just so busy. I like busy looking things. And the reason why these icons are used is because some things can't be put into words, right? And like if you're trying to like conceptualize heaven and like the risen Christ and Adam's skull, you can't just use words like written script because there's linguistical barriers. So these are icons. I mean, there's, these, it's Byzantine-esque, stylistic artistic renderings of heaven. There's Adam's skull down there. So there's a lot in there of symbolism and, theology that I'm going to get into. I have another one that's coming from Lithuania that's really, I hate to say beat up, but it's really beat up. And there's one behind me that I found out thrifting is made of wood. So I'm going to compare these with an overhead view, and then I have some text about the symbolism between all like these little icons within. So that's on the horizon. Now what this is objectively, I need to work on, like as far as how old this is. I need to research this, like the object itself. I don't want to break this thing. This is brass or bronze. This again came from Poland. There's no maker's mark. Now I read some. I'm gonna plug this phone in. My phone's gonna bobble for a minute, but just excuse me. It's my battery. Is that good? Cool. So yeah, we're live. Vintage Classic Solutions. I'm your host, EJ Parker. So I read some stuff about these crosses where there was some interference with like the Soviets, like was it Lenin or Stalin? They weren't having, they were interfering with these crosses being produced, trying to like crush spirituality. Something about that. So I need to look into that. But this one's beautiful. This was from eBay again from Poland. I think I paid like $33 plus shipping. I think it was altogether like maybe like $45 US. So not too bad. These can go for a lot of money. Before I got into this quest of spirituality 2.0, I've always was fascinated with these crosses because where I live east of Cleveland. There's a lot of like Slavic and Eastern European immigrants, and we have a lot of old school churches with these kind of crosses, these Orthodox crosses atop. And as a kid, I always would see these, and I was just always curious. And as an adult, I just got more and more into them. And I got a tattoo on my hand of it, right? That right there. So to me, it represents free will. Because what is this? Well, I mean, to me the foot bar slanting is the most important symbol to me, because what that represents, if you don't know, when Christ was crucified, there was a thief here and a thief here. This one repented at the hour of death, and this one didn't. And this one, so this like points up to heaven, this crossbar, and this one points down to hell. So this represents to me like free will, that's what it's all about, right? So that's like free will. That's why I like this. This is like the Orthodox cross. The other cross, that the very like this one, that's the Latin cross. When it's just like a straight cross beam like that, that's the Latin cross, and this is the Orthodox. When you have the top beam where the the name, like the placard would be cross beam and the foot beam. There's just more symbolism in this, and I like that because I like symbolism, and something about things that are busy, I feel secure. I mean, if you look at my, I mean, you can probably tell that there's stuff everywhere. I mean, just everywhere, everywhere. I like that. So I'm like the opposite of a minimalist, but I'm not a hoarder though. I don't hoard like rubber bands unless they're really good and old. Um, like it. No, I'm kidding. No, I do. I do hoard. When I used to live in China, check this out. I love markets and bazaars. So I used to go to these markets, and they weren't antique markets, but they were just markets of anything, and like rubber band markets. And I would go to these markets and walk around, and I'd get these rubber bands that were like jumbo size, like they'd be this big loose, and you'd be like, "Grrr," and they were like that brown typical rubber band size. And you can't just buy one; you got to buy them like by the kilogram. You know what I mean? So you get like 2 kilos of rubber band, like industrial rubber bands, and you get them home, and your just brain starts thinking like, what can I use these for? All kinds of ideas of what you can use them for. And the problem, and I brought them back to the States when I moved back to Ohio. I got my rubber bands, you know what I mean? Go to the airport. But the problem is, it kind of like dry rot. I think in China they always like skimp on the quality of the like materials. Like if it's plastic in China, if you buy like a plastic product made for the Chinese domestic market, I lived there for 11 years. It's always a brittle plastic. It's cheap and crumbly compared to like European or American plastic products, which have way more durability. Just like different quality control. You know what I mean? Um, it's like going. Oh yeah, so the rubber bands, same thing. Like the rubber bands, like after like I don't know, like a couple of years, they just like got brittle and they, you know what I mean? So you gotta act fast when it comes to Chinese made jumbo rubber bands because it's a small window of time. All right, so what else do we got? I'm so slap happy. I get up at 4 a.m. I'll do it again tomorrow because I'm moving items from my virtual store to my brick and mortar store, Timeless Treasures in Mentor, Ohio. Come out and see us. It's about a mile south of the gorgeous shores of Lake Erie. Um, I mean, January is a great time to visit the lake. I mean, bring your, white sand island for days. Bring your suntan lotion. Bring your sunglasses. Bring your earmuffs. And bring your, your hunting antique spirit because we had antiques and vintage in the area. So come see us. I'm trying to. I'm looking about because I need to literally just grab things and bring them into my car and put a price tag on them. So it's a whole different thing. If you're looking to go brick and mortar, let me tell you, do it. Um, I'll give you some tips. Get shelving now. I was telling this on a live stream. Like because what was holding me back from doing this was I never found the right deal, like the right fee per month I gotta pay, and the right vibe of the place and the right ownership. Just everything. The right ownership, the right. I got everything came together to make this happen. It was good. Um, I figured I was going with that. I'm so like I think I ate a little bit today. I need to remind myself to eat. I get so caught up in these projects, I forget to eat. So then I'm like, wait a minute, I think I'm starving. I think I'm gonna implode. Like yesterday, I was making deals and stuff, and I've already think almost made my rent in 2 days. So thanks for everyone, for buying. Um, I appreciate that. Um, but it's like yesterday, I was like, wait a minute, did I eat? I feel like I'm gonna like implode, like, and just like disappear. So I gotta like eat some stupid protein bar or something. Like begrudgingly, I'm like, ah, ah, ah. 'Cause this is all sweet. I don't like sweet things anymore. And like, how come they gotta be like a sweet protein bar? It's like, man, it's like ultra sweet. And like, this is like my old man rant. And like gummies, like if you ever have, sometimes I'll try one of those like the weed gummies. They're legal now in Ohio. 'Cause I don't drink or anything, so it's like if I have a weed gummy, you know what I mean, on Christmas Eve or something. But this is so sweet. It's like sugar dipped in sugar. You know what I mean? It's like God, dog it. I don't know. So I gotta remind myself to eat. And I think it's just getting up so early. I know when I ramble like this and I forget words, my brain's tired. Like I can tell, I know my body this well that when I ramble and I forget words, my brain is just physically exhausted. Like just like my body's still kind of okay, but my brain's like like a half step like from my body. um, Last night I did My Paper Time Machine. That was awesome. And thanks again to Matt, Bam, for reminding me, because I had a few people remind me like comments, and I'm like, oh yeah. And then Matt was like, oh dude, he liked the Sears catalog, and I just dusted off some magazines I have like this. I'm gonna do another one, not tonight though. I gotta have like a full tank or a half a tank because, you're in it. You gotta do the whole magazine. You gotta be into it. And I haven't looked at this one yet, and I'm not gonna do it. But this is from 1940, April 1940. I'll show what we saw last night. That one I already looked through, but just to give you like a sneak peek of what you might be in store for. So this is 1938, a year before World War II started. That one is 1940, so we're into the war. So I'm curious to see the difference. This is like a home and garden magazine. It's just freaking awesome. I'm a vintage and antique dealer, and this just is like, what you need to see to help you date things. You can get creative and just cut out ads and frame them, and make a few bucks that way. But there's a lot of like bridal party stuff. So like this can help you date things, right? If you're trying to date a certain item. Look at this. Check it. Lucky Strikes. It's so stylistic, isn't it? 1938. Lucky Strikes. And this. It's a frog, a ceramic frog. That's cool. That looks like it's McCoy, doesn't it? Now that I look at it, it's 1938. Is that a McCoy frog? Where's my McCoy people at? That frog is cute. 35 cents, 1938. So this is it's like a treasure trove of things for collectors as well, because it gives you the concrete time and place to date your item. And that's, I don't know about you, but like that's what I'm always trying to do. Who made it, when was it made? And that sorry. With these bottles like this, I guess that's why I like these things, because it's like a lifelong quest. These old bottles, because there's no maker's mark. So you gotta like research like the shapes and like these minute things in the lip, and then like the kick up or the punt. All these minute details helps you get like one step closer to like maybe like the decade, like maybe it's 1815 or maybe it's 1830. You know what I mean? I think it's 1810. But I might make a video in 5 years and be like, this is definitely 1870. You know what I mean? I don't think it is, but I might discover some text or a YouTube video that pinpoints this for a certain particular reason to a different date. And then I'll update it and change my mind. But the point is, like, it's a fun process in itself to learn these dates or guess these dates, at least with these glass bottles, because you're not going to find this. You're not going to find a Sears catalog from 1812, or a Sears catalog from like 1740, right? The best you can do for that, and check this out, to one of these really old bottles, is look at old Dutch paintings, because here we go. EJ's getting the onion bottle. My old buddy. It's your buddy too by now. This is 1720 Dutch onion bottle. 1720 Dutch onion bottle made of glass. It's a survivor. So you're not going to find a Sears catalog from 1720 that helps you date this in a time and place. But you can find a Dutch painting that has this on a table in the background. You know what I mean? So that's how because I happen to have a few like prints of Dutch paintings, like antique reprints of Dutch paintings by like Dutch masters. And within those paintings, guess what? There actually are some black glass bottles, which is one of my specialties. I buy those much more than I sell. I think I sold one a couple weeks ago, like a double, kind of like, if I may. And then I think I have one in my store right now, my brick and mortar store, Timeless Treasures. It's I didn't dig it. Did I dig this one? It's like probably late 1800s, like a wine bottle, but it's black glass. That's in my store right now, and I'm selling also a druggist bottle from like 1850. It's gorgeous. I featured it on my channel many times. It's got the label on it too. It's gorgeous. The paper label. It looks something got like out of a horror movie or like a ghost story. But yay big, aqua glass. That will sell because you don't see that. It's like a freaking. It's got like the druggist um, uh, address. It's like in Boston on India Street. It's a spectacle to behold. Probably from like 1850, give or take. That's in my store now. So I do have to sell some bottles, and I want to set a precedent for my store, like to kind of like reflect me, right? Because that's what my channel is. It's a reflection of me, and it's me and my store. So YouTube is me. I mean, this is me. This is the real deal. Does it get realer? I mean, you see me like jump in the street for a stupid sword, plastic sword, and jump in the shower with a old bottle. This is the real deal. But with my store, I mean, it's more than just a store that I resell. It's like a reflection of me. Why? It's just how I do stuff. Things I buy and sell, like I want to. It's got to be a certain aesthetic, or I don't want to do it. You know what I mean? I'm not just reselling anything to resell stuff. Because I work too hard. You know what I mean? This is like an artistic expression almost in some ways. I worked way too hard just to like resell like a, contemporary Ohio State Buckeye freaking pullover or whatever. You know what I mean? No offense to you if you do that stuff. We all have our own, ecological niche, right? So then we all should do different stuff. Otherwise, it'd be too much competition. Right? So my brain's so exhausted. What do I gotta do next? I assign myself tasks to the point where I'm like, EJ, shut the hell up. I'll be like, oh, let me get one of those. I'm gonna get some old buckets and paint them like green. And I'm like, dude, what the hell are you thinking? Like, you know what I mean? Or like, I'm gonna get into blacksmithing. Like, really? Like, you're gonna get into blacksmithing? You got like, how many kids you got? Like, what? Like what you like? You're gonna go and drive an hour away and take classes for blacksmithing? Like, no. Sometimes I have to tell myself not give up, but just like wait, just put it on the back burner. You gotta pick your battles, right? So I'm getting slap happy, but it's good. I gotta like let my brain chill out from like uh, just like digging through antiques for the day. Even though I love doing that, sometimes you gotta just kind of like pump the brakes and just kind of like clear the head and just like you know do something else. This is that French book, by the way, that you just saw. I will go through that. That is a treasure trove. That's a time capsule back into like the early 1700s. It's a book about how to apologize in different situations. And I don't want to say it's funny because I don't want to be disrespectful, but it's kind of funny because it's like these like situations from like 1702, like you spill the wine on someone, or like you're trying to leave a lover that left you cross for some other. And I can translate it too, so we'll do that. I think I'm gonna end this live stream. Is it coffee time? It's too late for coffee. See, once we get to like the 9 p.m., that's my cutoff coffee time. I can't do it. And it's like what 8:46 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm in Ohio. If it's 8 p.m., I'll do coffee, but I'm not doing it at 9. That's too late. Because I got up too early. I got up at 4 a.m. I've been up all day. I'm happy, but it's too late for coffee. Because it'd be no point. I like drink a cup of coffee and I go right to bed. There's no point to it. So I'm not gonna do coffee. I'm probably gonna eat an apple. How about that? I'm gonna eat an apple, have some water. I'm not gonna exercise tonight. No working out. 'Cause my back is sore from moving something. So thank you, Petrol 100. You are awesome. You helped me. I hope I can return the favor to you one day with this awesome vase. You gave me confidence this is something special. And you're like, bring it in. And I'm like, duh, I work at an antique store now. Bring it in. So you're the awesomest. I feel your energy. Let's return it to you. I'm going to end this live stream and go eat an apple. So I appreciate your presence. I will talk to you. So if you want to see what's going on tomorrow, I'll have a lot more energy and a lot more antique items around me. I'll be in my warehouse, aka my garage, getting things in boxes. And if I sell anything from this point on until like 5 a.m., you'll see what I sold and I'll pack it. Deal? Deal. All right. So as always, thanks for checking in.